Hello, I'm Jen Dalton, and if we haven't met before, I'm a dance business coach and mentor. I built and scaled my studios to over 1,200 students across 6 locations. I led a team of 30, and I recently have sold my studios after 30 years in the industry. I'm now the founder and creator of the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind, and I work with established studio owners to help them simplify, streamline, and scale strategically. Now, what I wanted to do in this video is just walk you through 3 strategic moves you can implement if your numbers and enrollments are down this year. Because if you are like the studio owners that I work with, you are time poor, you are working really hard trying to increase your numbers, and you just simply want to take these strategies and implement them so that they can work for you as fast as possible. This is a really great video to listen to if you want to retain this information. Now, maybe you could listen while you're driving to the studio or while you're in between classes or even while you're getting ready in the morning. But I want you to take, listen, and absorb this information and come back to it as support as you continue to simplify and scale in 2026. Okay, I'm going to kick off with a little bit of an overview of who this guide is for and who it's not for. So it's for you if you expected stronger enrolments this year, if you feel that subtle pressure to advertise harder, or maybe you're wondering if you've missed something, or maybe you simply just want strategic growth and not emotional growth. But this is not for you if you're looking for quick generic ideas, you want urgency-based marketing scripts, or you're not willing to refine structure inside your studio. Because what we're talking about today is structure, and structure is what allows growth and profit. Okay, so just a really quick personal note before we get started. I know that, like me, you've already heard plenty of noise about what studio owners should be doing right now. This guide isn't another opinion. Instead, I've pulled together the core strategic shifts that are going to help you do 2 very specific things. The first one is to protect and strengthen your enrollments. And the second one is to build sustainable, repeatable growth without burning yourself out. Now, how do I know these strategies work? Well, they're not theory. They're drawn from 3 places. The first place is the studio owners that I work with every week inside the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind. They're seeing in real time what's working, what's not, and when numbers actually move. And the second place is the patterns that I've observed across hundreds of strategic planning sessions where we've refined positioning, retention, and structure. And number 3 is my own 30 years of building, scaling, and leading a multi-location studio to over 1,200 students. And during that time, navigating economic shifts, parent behavior changes, and competitive markets long before online trends existed. Now, I've kept only what's worth your time. There is no fluff, no hype, and there's no panic tactics. Okay, so what we are going to do is go through 3 strategic moves that you can make right now if your numbers are feeling low, including the reactive response that many studio owners are doing, and then the strategic response that I encourage you to implement. All right, let's get to it. Now, the first thing I want to speak to is how parent behavior has shifted. And many studio owners are reading that shift as a marketing failure. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. Because right now, families are waiting until school routines settle. And between you and me, I think a lot of parents are waiting for their own routines to settle. They're wanting to test before committing long term. They're making more cautious decisions when it comes to spending. So they want to know the value of what they're paying for. And the 4th thing is they're seeking reassurance before urgency. So this is the building trust part. So if your enrollments feel lower than expected, it doesn't automatically mean that your marketing's broken. It just may mean that you're pushing for urgency when what families actually need right now is reassurance and certainty. And when that shift isn't understood, studios will react by discounting. They'll give things away for free. They'll increase their ad spend and change campaigns, or maybe even do radical timetable or staff changes. Now those actions actually create stress and not stability. So instead, here's what strategic studios are doing. They're extending their nurture sequence. So think about the questions that are in the head of your potential families, and you're going to answer those, because by answering that, you're building their trust. The second thing is following up midterm with non-committed trials. So getting on the phone, sending text messages, videos, and voice messages. Try and change it up from email, because everyone is overloaded with emails in their inbox. And then number 3, they're creating a second intake wave. So designing new and different marketing campaigns during weeks 4 to 7. So they're shifting the messaging from urgency through to certainty and trust building. You essentially need to reassure your families about commitment, structure, what their child will experience, and what they're going to get, that value beyond just learning dance. Because stabilizing decision making is actually more powerful than forcing urgency. All right, so that then brings me to the second one. So the second point is standing out isn't loud, it's strategic. Now this one's subtle. One of the fastest ways to lose momentum in your studio is to stop trusting your own thinking. Now, right now, I guarantee your feed is full of this studio is offering a new program, and this other studio is giving all this for free, and this studio's basically selling her child with her offer to get more enrollments. You've got other studios showcasing new uniform and how amazing they're looking, and then those incredible video montages that you're seeing as well, which is all good and great. But without realizing it, you start adjusting your strategy to match what's visible. You panic, you tweak your offer, you adjust your pricing, you change your messaging, not because it's aligned, but just because it's loud and in your face, and you start to doubt yourself. But here's the problem. Cookie cutter growth doesn't work when there are 3 other studios within 10 minutes of you. Your studio isn't generic. It has its own culture. You have your own standards, your own energy, specific ideal or perfect families that you want in your studio doors. You have a community nuance. And when you start mirroring what everyone else is doing, you then blur what makes you different. And when you blur what makes you different, you become just another studio in the area. The studios that grow consistently, they're not louder, they're just clearer, and they make small, intentional refinements. They're listening and observing what their ideal family want. They're sharpening their communication. They're aligning pricing with positioning. They're highlighting their unique culture. They're making really small but intentional tweaks. It's not dramatic. It's not precise. It is precise, and precision is what attracts the right families. And then this is where we shift into the third thing. So I now want you to start thinking strategically, because strategic positioning doesn't happen by accident. If you constantly feel like you're catching up, you're putting fires out, or scrambling to make decisions midterm, it's not because you're incapable, it's because you're operating in the moment instead of ahead of it. Now, successful studios, they're not waiting for things to go wrong before they make a decision. They anticipate it, or they probably just learn their lesson. And they're making key decisions before urgency forces their hand. And so behind the scenes, this looks like, and this is some things that people don't even want to think about, but timetable planning is starting in August for the following year. You should be having a retention strategy finalized before classes end for the year, with ongoing initiatives in place to maintain student engagement. You should be looking at having meetings with your teachers and staff and know what their movements are, what they're wanting to commit to, and if possible, have them locked in because you've got the timetable finished by December. And then you really need your January campaign should be built before January, and your term one systems should be locked in before week 1 of term 1. Because reactive growth feels urgent, strategic growth feels calm, and calm is what is powerful. All right, so let's recap on those 3 strategic shifts that you can focus on right now to increase your enrollment numbers. Number 1 is understanding that parent behaviour and buying psychology has shifted. Number 2 is stop focusing on what everybody else is doing and create offers that your perfect or ideal family want. And number 3 is to start thinking strategically. So you're not constantly feeling though you're trying to catch up, or you're sorting out issues or dramas or scrambling to make those decisions. So before you burn it all down or change everything, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I reacting emotionally, or am I responding strategically? Because increasing enrollment numbers is not just marketing. They are a culmination of structure, retention, positioning, planning, leadership. Structure equals freedom. And now you're likely in one of 2 places right now, or you're either thinking, there's just so much happening in my studio right now. I know something needs to shift. I just don't know where to focus. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm ready to stop second guessing and focus on what actually matters, because I need the clarity, the structure, and the accountability, but I don't actually know how to do that. It's essentially knowing that you need to do something, but not knowing where to focus. And this is exactly what we do inside my Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind. How this is different to everybody else is I step with my 30 years experience into your business with you. We review your numbers, your structure, your goals, and map out exactly what your studio needs next. It's not cookie cutter. It is not one size fits all. It's specific. It's a place for accountability, and it is structured. We build strategic growth plans while we protect your creative vision and simply build the structure to support it. Now, this isn't about adding more, because I know how busy you are. It's actually about identifying what needs to be done, refining it, doing less, but just simply doing it better. And I can sit here confidently and say that my clients inside the mastermind are some of the top in the industry because of the action and the plans that they are doing each and every day. And it makes me super proud. Now, March is my intake month. I keep these groups intentionally small and only invite in studio owners who want to operate at a higher standard. They are grounded in trust, clarity, and also long-term value. So if you are already 5 years into your business, or you have over 200 students enrolled, or maybe you're just ready to operate at that next level, then this is the room for you. So if it feels like this might be the right next step, below this video, you'll see a link to fill in an application form. Fill that in, I'll review it personally, and if it's aligned, we'll take the next step from there. There is absolutely no pressure. And if you're not quite ready for this level yet, I really encourage you to start with the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, where each week I break down the thinking, strategy, and real conversations happening behind the scenes with studio owners, so you can keep refining your approach without that noise. Either way, you've worked too hard to burn it all down. So I really look forward to reading your application, and send me a DM at _JenDalton_ because I'd love to hear from you. Have the best day.